Today, we need to talk about Mario Kart because you probably know that we just put the bow on the Booster Course Pass DLC that put waves 1 through 6 in our hands and expanded the course track from 48 to 96, literally doubling the amount of courses that we once had playable in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Also crazy to think about that Mario Kart 8 is technically still a game from the Wii U era that was originally released in 2014, meaning that this game, when it came to all of its final updates, essentially had near 10 years of support from Nintendo, albeit with a big gap in between of the game not getting additional content until the Booster Course Pass waves were announced. But now for some reason on the internet, you have it popping up in all corners that we already know what to expect with the future of the franchise, specifically with a claimed title being called Mario Kart 10. And I want to unpack this leak / rumor with you guys because it kind of dawned on me that I had heard something similar almost a couple years ago. You may remember, or you may not, a rumor or leak going around that Mario Kart Crossroads was the next big Mario Kart title in development and it would be coming out soon. That was before we saw the official confirmation of the Booster Course Pass waves, and I really want to get on the same page with whether or not you should be putting any validity into this rumor or leak at all, because I don't think you should, but I do want to play both sides of the conversation and look at it both with the benefit of the doubt and also with the more likely scenario that while we will see Nintendo bring Mario Kart out at some point in the future, the next installment with a big push, that this information that you are seeing pop up online left and right in all types of different videos is not actually really telling you what's going on here. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your bell notification if you're new here to join Sunbro Nation. And we have to first hop over to Zippo's blog post where he has some new claims for what the future of the franchise will entail. And I want to first preface this by saying that a lot of what Zippo is claiming here is not out of the realm of possibility, and it's not that I think that he's going to be wrong about a lot of what he's claiming, but just the fact that it is all kind of general information that anybody could easily speculate on online. And we also have some history to look at after we see this newest blog post that may kind of reel back in the expectations on whether or not Zippo has credible information with this particular source for what's next in the Mario Kart franchise. You have his blog post which reads, Mario Kart X will release in 2025. Now that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass has finally come to an end in spectacular fashion, I might add, now the question being asked is, well, what's next? Well, I finally have some more insight on that. The 10th, no not 9th installment of the Mario Kart series will release in 2025, which will be Switch 2's second year on the market. The intention is to release the title sometime before the system's second holiday on the market. The title is being developed primarily by Nintendo EPD Production Group 9, with Bandai Namco Studios once again co-developing. Additionally, Nintendo are sparing absolutely no expense with this game. This is apparently one of the most expensive games Nintendo has ever put into production. The next 3D Mario title is said to be absolutely dropping. I think he might mean jaw-dropping, and this apparently looks even better. The game's visual fidelity is said to be a very high priority for them, meaning the game is going to look good, damn good. 2025 is going to be a massive year for the Mario franchise in general. Nintendo are making extensive plans for the franchise's 40th anniversary in all sectors, so expect a lot of plumber goodness, not just next year, but even the year after. MKX will be one of the main celebratory titles of the anniversary. That said, this is still 2 years away, so don't expect to hear about anything for quite a while. Once again, next year the focus will be on the launch of the system alongside that new 3D Mario. Mario Kart will come in due time, friends. More soon. So again, I don't disagree with a lot of what's being said there, and you might get hung up on the Mario Kart 10 instead of it being called 9, and I need to address that real quick. I'm pretty sure Nintendo is counting Mario Kart Tour as Mario Kart 9, so I actually don't think it's uncharacteristic to imagine that Nintendo will refer to this game as 10. I see a lot of varying opinions around that online. It seems logical to me that with how long of a roadmap Tour has had and how much support Nintendo has thrown at it, granted it's a mobile game, it still seems like it counts in their opinion in terms of a actual entry within the franchise. It's actually a lot of the base of the reason why we got the Booster Course Pass, because they were already giving so much development time to Tour, and they figured they could put some of that towards Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was continuing to not fall off of a sales cliff like we expected it to, and continuing to top the charts month in and month out on the Nintendo Switch. And it's why we saw Nintendo shift to a longer roadmap for this current generation, and then saving what's really next for the franchise entirely for the next generation. So from a logic-based perspective, what he's saying here actually makes sense, because you have to think about the kind of sales numbers that at over 58 million copies that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has now sold on the Nintendo Switch, that yeah, it would be something that Nintendo is going to spend more money than ever in franchise history on the follow-up to this successful game. It might even look as good or better than the next mainline 3D Mario game, which will most likely also be jaw-dropping because Nintendo knows what they have on their hands with Mario, not to mention the brand new mass exposure that Mario has gotten to the mainstream from his wildly successful debut in the movie industry. There's no reason to think that Nintendo won't double down on the plumber and try to push him to new heights, and so this is all logical claims. But in terms of for sure being able to expect it in 2025 and acting like this is for sure inside information is where I become more skeptical. And all we have to do is look back in history to the beginning of 2022 when we didn't know what was going on with Nintendo's immediate plans for Mario Kart and the franchise, because it had been so long since we heard anything in terms of new content or Nintendo even acknowledging if they're doing anything else with the franchise, that many were expecting a new game to be announced in the end of the current Nintendo Switch's life cycle, where you can see posts like this from Game Rant which read, "New Mario Kart leak says it will have characters from Pikmin, Star Fox, and more." Now keep in mind this was published on January 17th, 2022, and they go on to detail, rumors are swirling that Nintendo has a new Mario Kart game in development for the Nintendo Switch and that the game is going to be taking the series in a bold new direction. If these rumors are to be believed, the new Mario Kart game is going to be a crossover title in the vein of Super Smash Bros, featuring a variety of characters from different Nintendo franchises, not just those that originated in the Super Mario series. Whether or not there's any truth to these claims remain to be seen, but another leaker has thrown their hat into the ring. Nintendo leaker Zippo, who has accurately leaked Nintendo news in the past, but like other leakers doesn't have a perfect track record, has claimed that they've heard that the new Mario Kart game will be released as a way to celebrate the franchise's 30th anniversary, which is this year. It's unclear if this means that the game will actually be out this year or if Nintendo will simply start the marketing push for it. So you could play devil's advocate with that entire article and say maybe Zippo did indeed hear something Mario Kart was in the pipeline for the 30th anniversary, which would have happened in 2022, and it just so happened to be the DLC booster course pass waves and not a new game. But we did not hear Nintendo, not even once, acknowledge that they were tying that to the 30th anniversary of Mario Kart. It was just simply because fans were so supportive of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that they felt like giving additional content. Like I mentioned, it was really tied into the fact that they had a lot of ongoing development and support for Mario Kart Tour, and it just made logical sense to give us more tracks and also add some real value to the expansion pack that they were trying to build up at that time as a must-own service for a lot of Nintendo Switch owners, and that's really what that DLC was. He claimed it would be a new game. He claimed it would be something that would be released in 2022 to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Mario Kart, and I don't think that his sources on Mario Kart are reliable at all. We have seen Zippo get some what you could call hard to guess things right over the course of time. He was actually extremely accurate pretty recently with a Mario Wonder leak that got out where he did say that Nintendo would be holding some kind of dedicated direct event, or maybe he didn't call it a direct, but a dedicated Mario blowout the week before we got the announcement that the Mario Wonder direct would be taking place. So you can give him credit there, but with the amount of time that he's thrown out these kind of predictions and ideas and timelines around games launching and him having the inside scoop with what Nintendo is doing and the amount of time that works out, it seems like a broken clock is right twice a day type scenario, as opposed to some of the more credible names that we talk about on the channel. So if you're seeing a ton of the next Mario Kart game has leaked officially online, really take it with a huge grain of salt. I do think that we will likely see Nintendo launch the follow-up to Mario Kart 8. Maybe it's called 10, maybe it's called 9, maybe it's called something entirely different. Maybe it has a spin-off title, maybe it doesn't, who knows? But I think we do see Nintendo launch that sometime early into the next generation Nintendo console's life cycle, but I don't think that this particular post gives us any insight to that. Will it be something where we do see a broader roster of characters, Smash Bros style almost? I certainly hope we go that direction. I think Nintendo needs to stick with the name Mario Kart, but I think it makes a lot of sense to bring in a broader selection of characters from various Nintendo IP. Let's throw them all in there. Let's hope they get super creative with the level design and spare no expense on all of the graphical fidelity of the game and really make it look like the best Mario Kart has ever looked. And I'm hoping personally, just my own wish list, a double dash mode to be included. I hope that we see something that it doesn't have to be based around it entirely for the whole game, but I would love to have the option to play a double dash mode in the next Mario Kart if you want to do that. More options don't hurt anyone, and I think most people would be perfectly fine with having that as a playable mode. But I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video whether or not you think we do indeed know anything about the next upcoming big Mario Kart game in the franchise. Do you think it will indeed be something that is saved for the launch window, more or less within a year or so of the next generation console launching? And what do you want to see from it personally? Are you like me and you want to see a double dash mode included and hopefully a broader roster character? Or are you somebody who thinks that it'll be very similar to what we've seen Nintendo do with the franchise up to this point in history, and nothing really venturing that far out of the box with what we've seen Nintendo do so far? But definitely let me know all your thoughts and feelings on everything we discussed, regardless if you agree or disagree. I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your bell notification on your way out. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now, and I will see you guys in the next video.